The crown prince arrived at his southwest domain, but he did not enter the city with fanfare. He left his 5,000 imperial guards to make camp 30 li outside the city walls. He and Chang Wei changed into the clothes of petty peddlers, picked up empty wicker baskets, and slipped through a side path, blending into the crowd entering through the main gate. The guards at the gate merely glanced at them and waved them through. The order within the city streets was surprisingly maintained, yet famine victims were everywhere. In corners, under eaves, and at temple gates, groups of sallow, emaciated people huddled together. An old woman held a dead infant, lacking even the strength to weep. The crown prince clenched his fists. At noon, they entered a restaurant called Yang Tower. A waiter greeted them. The prince ordered a few dishes and, while waiting for the food,
"Brother, I heard there are riots over rent resistance in this area?"
The waiter sized him up. Hearing the accent of an outsider, he smiled ingratiatingly.
"Master, you'd best not ask about these things. The authorities don't like it."
Chang Wei took a silver ingot from his sleeve and placed it on the table. The waiter's eyes lit up. He lowered his voice.
"That rent resistance is happening in the countryside. The farmers have had poor harvests for years, but the land rent hasn't decreased, and taxes have only increased. They can't survive. Several large landlord households were looted and fled to the city. The county magistrate is corrupt. He sold all the relief grain to the Anqing rice shop. Rice prices have gone through the roof."
Do the authorities do nothing?
Do nothing. The county magistrate himself is the biggest profiteer.
After finishing their meal, they stepped outside. The streets were even more crowded, but not with the bustle of prosperity. Refugees fleeing famine, people selling their children, others lying on the ground waiting to die. A boy of 6 or 7 knelt by a wall, a stalk of straw sticking out of his hair. A dead body lay before him. Chang Wei whispered.
"He is selling himself to bury his father."
The crown prince stopped. He looked down at the child. The child looked up at him. There were no tears in his eyes, only bewilderment. The prince was silent for a moment, then said to Xiao Luoning,
"Go help him with the funeral. Find a good family to take him in."
Xiao Luoning answered and squatted down to speak with the child. The prince turned and walked toward the city gate. He did not speak the entire way, but his eyes had changed. He was no longer that youth who had gazed foolishly at the woman in white by the pond. For the first time, he truly saw what the human world really was. Returning to the camp outside the city, the crown prince and Chang Wei worked through the night to devise a plan. The next day, he mustered 300 imperial guards and rode straight to the county yamen. The county magistrate hurried out to welcome him, but the prince publicly read the imperial decree and took control of the official seal. First decree: open the granaries. Starving people flocked from all directions, forming long lines. The crown prince stood by the porridge pots himself, ladling porridge for the elderly and children. An old woman took the bowl, knelt on the ground, and kowtowed, murmuring,
"Benevolent Lord."
The prince helped her up and said,
Not a benevolent lord. Just a human. And a human should help another human.
Second decree: seize the Hongxing rice shop. The owner had hoarded grain to drive up prices. Rice cost twice as much as in the capital. The prince ordered the granaries confiscated, and hundreds of thousands of bushels of grain were taken for public use. The price of rice plummeted. When he heard that his shares were lost, the county magistrate fainted on the spot. Third decree: reduce rent and taxes. The prince posted notices. The royal domain would be rent-free for 3 years. Farmers who had fled and returned within a month would keep their land. Abandoned land would be bid on by neighbors. Returning farmers would each receive 2 bushels of grain for settlement, and newly reclaimed land would be tax-exempt for 3 years. As soon as the notice went up, refugees came rushing back. Even those who had become bandits came down from the mountains in 2s and 3s to surrender. The prince ordered them registered. Those who had killed received lighter sentences, while those who hadn't were absolved. In less than 10 days, 1,000 imperial guards had pacified all the mountain strongholds. Not by the sword, by grain. 2 months later, the southwest domain was reviving from ruin. People worked in the fields. Hawkers called out in the markets. The sound of children reading aloud came from the schools. Standing on the city tower, looking at all this, the crown prince felt something he had never experienced before. Not lovesickness. Not sorrow. A sense of solidity. He thought of the boy selling himself to bury his father. The waiter at Yang Tower. The common people kneeling on the ground, bowls in hand. And then he thought of the woman in white. Her shadow had become blurry. Not forgotten. Let go. Moonlight spilled onto the city tower. The crown prince raised his head and whispered to the moon.
May you be well.
He turned and descended the stairs. Ahead lay the frontier.